Stress. Noun. A physical, mental, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension. Stresses can be external, from the environment or social situations, or internal, an illness, maybe from a medical procedure. Stress can initiate the fight or flight response, a complex reaction of neurological and endocrinological systems. In the generation we live in today, the 21st century, we experience many issues such as racism, genderism, gun violence, and just an overall lack of equality. We are always under this constant stress of what we should think, what we should say, how we should act, as well as a dire need to conform to the norms. There's a really interesting scale that was developed after a study in 1967 by Thomas Holmes and Richard Ray, it's basically a scale of 1 to 100 of life-changing events that happen for people. But they realized the difference between stress of an adult and stress of a non-adult, so they made two separate scales. They were trying to find a correlation of illness to stress. So if you have high stress, you have a higher risk of illness. And they did find a very positive correlation for that. But the thing about the scales, they have an adult side and a non-adult side. For the adult side, the death of a spouse is at 100. The scale is from 1 to 100. But for the non-adult side, the death of the parent is 100. But something that is being supported by our argument is death of a close friend for an adult is only 37 out of 100. But death of a close friend for a non-adult is a 63. It's showing that people of different ages are worried about different things and are stressing about different things. Marriage is 50 for an adult, but settling down for a non-adult is around like a 26. It blatantly shows that people of different developmental stages are worried about different things.
Based off the findings in the study and scale, we decided to interview different people from different developmental stages, starting with a 4-year-old, Thad Smith. We asked Thad, the 4-year-old representative, if he ever got stressed out in life, and as we expected, the answers were pretty simple.
Do you ever feel nervous or stressed out at school?
Nope.
At the age of 4, Thad's life seemed to be as simple as his answer. With not much to worry about, we can conclude that at this age, life is quite stress-free. So, we decided to jump ages, someone a little closer to our age. A 14-year-old 8th grader, Ezra Yazanpour. He's an upcoming high schooler who also academically and athletically pushes himself.
How old are you?
14.
How are you
Thanks.
doing?
I'm pretty stress-free because I don't have school tomorrow.
Nice. Explain what stress is in your own words.
Stress is kind of like feeling you have when there's too much to do but not enough time to do it all.
Good. So, with what you just explained, do you think you experience that in your everyday life?
Yes, I do,
How so?
because I have to balance schoolwork, school soccer, and club soccer, and it's hard to keep up with everything.
Thank you for your time.
Definitely. As much as the age difference, Ezra's response was significantly different than Thad's. Ezra understood the meaning of stress, as well as feeling that general stress throughout his life. Stress is evident, yet his life is also simple as being stress-free just because he didn't have school the next day. Moving on to someone our age, Isabella Wong, a 16-year-old student at Buholtz who their main interest is music and academically being successful. Although Isabella and Ezra's age group gap is only 2 years, the level of stress were shown to be very different. How's life going right now, as of right now?
Pretty good.
So, explain stress in your own words. Like, what does it mean to you?
Stress in my own words. Probably something that I experience a lot and that I've since probably about middle school learned to just deal with in like different ways, and something that I experience through multiple like sources in my life.
I see. So what you just explained is stress to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel that way? See that going on in your life still?
Yeah, all the time actually.
As a high school student, stress is very prominent in Isabella's life. Most of this is caused by tests, schoolwork, and just a general anxiety towards the future. Unlike the saying, high school is the best 4 years of your life, it is shown that it might be the hardest 4 years of your life. But, since we are only 16 years old, and possibly egocentric at times, we decided to interview grown men, adults, the masters at life, and their views towards stress.
What's your name and how old are you?
My name is Edson Abadia Jr. and I am 20 years old.
Define stress in your own words.
Stress to me means pushing yourself past a limit you may not be used to, or pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, which makes you feel stressed out and maybe that you won't be able to do it.
Do you experience stress in your everyday life?
I experience stress in my everyday life because I'm constantly trying to juggle school, work, family, friends, and much more. But these experiences push me outside my comfort zone, which make a stressful life, but help me in many other ways, such as meeting new people, learning from new experiences, and gaining new skills that help me out in every facet of my life.
After interviewing Edson, the ancient one since he's born before the 2000s, we see he understands the big picture, that stress is a form of motivation and drive to do better. So, we interviewed Mr. Rowe, also born before the 2000s, just a tad bit older than Edson at the age of 55. He's also currently working as a police officer.
Can you explain what stress is in your own words?
Stress is this feeling you may get if you feel that you're overwhelmed by a particular task at hand, or things that you are doing, or deadlines that you have to meet, and it's a pressure that you may feel internally to get things done and meet a deadline.
Good. So, with what you just explained, do you believe you experience this in your everyday life?
Not every day, but on occasion. It just depends on what the day is and what project may be due, and what I happen to be doing at a certain time of the day. But yes, I do experience stress on occasion.
For adults as a whole, we realize stress isn't about the future since they're already living it. From our research and interviews, it can be supported that stress is a part of almost everyone's life. It reminds me of statistics and the bell curve, how for younger children there's almost no stress existent. But as age increases, stress tends to increase as well, due to school, social life, development of thought, and general anxiety towards the future. Once you reach an older age, where these tasks are achieved, it can be inferred that stress decreases again to become almost the stress toddlers had in the beginning. From this study, we realize stress will remain throughout life, but we can rest easy, knowing that it tapers off with age.
Should we really be worried about the little things when we know one day it really wouldn't matter? I think Thad can answer that.